Welcome back. Once again, adventurers, to Let's Play ChäoS Head. In the last episode, Takumi Nishijou had finally reached the planetarium, which contained the terrible device Noah 2. Much to Rimi Sakihara's surprise and shock, considering the fact that everything that she had done was to prevent Takumi from ever arriving here and stepping right into Genichi Neurose's trap. But sadly, that was an outcome that was never destined to happen. For Genichi himself had orchestrated events so that Takumi had no choice but to arrive here to save her. And while of course Genichi spouted off some sort of rhetoric of nonsense about justice and saving the humanity through the power of Noah 2, we know his true intentions, to subjugate all of existence unto his selfish whims. But Genichi has one final card up his sleeve, his ace, if you will. The object that Rimi and Nanami were both affixed to, that is none other than Genichi Neurose's very own D-Sword, because in his ranting, Genichi revealed himself to be an awakened gigalomaniac. So he's not just using the power of Noah 2 alone. Genichi himself has the ability to reboot delusions into reality. But of course, with Noah 2, he can fight Takumi Nishijou on a even if not greater footing, and considering the fact that Takumi is very heavily wounded right about now, the one who is currently at the advantage is unfortunately Genichi, but we cannot back down, not now. I took a step toward Noah 2. Namely, I began closing the distance between me and Neurose. When it came to the range of our weapons, his was overwhelmingly superior. Was that to bait us? The tall Neurose swung his even taller D-Sword one-handed. And so it begins, Gigalomaniac versus Gigalomaniac. It was a blow brimming with the sort of heft that seemed capable of pulverizing anything imaginable. My arms wouldn't respond right away. Pain shot through them when all I did was tense them. Even then, I forced myself to raise my arm, and here's hoping our D-Sword can magically work its magic. I stopped his D-Sword, albeit very badly. If I had a normal sword, there was no doubt it'd have split clean in two. Not to mention that my D-Sword was terribly thin. It contrasted too sharply with Neurose's. But my D-Sword didn't break, and I somehow managed to hold off Neurose's first attack. My hand went numb. Since my left hand was all but gone, I had trouble keeping my balance. My posture crumbled. Not off to a fantastic start, and now that I think about it, even with the others, Ayase, Senna, Kozue, and Yua, even with all the other Gigalomaniacs assembled, we'd actually not quite be a match against Neurose. It seemed as if he were about to send me hurtling back. I withstood it. And met Neurose's second attack. He parried far too fast for me. Don't be led astray by how his sword looks, I warned myself. A power struggle between an excessively slender and delicate sword and an excessively gigantic and ferocious sword. Somehow I succeeded in going up against him, but that was very much just for now. Indeed. There's another attack. For the fourth time our swords clashed, and Rose's hands began to move very differently from before. It appeared as though he clenched down on the grip of his sword. His D-sword undulated, releasing an eerie sound. It hummed as its structure recombined. The tip of its blade opened like a pair of scissors, thrusting up towards my chest. I think this is how he intends to harvest Takumi's code sample. But we can't let him. That transformation, I realized it would be fatal to me. Resistance. I lowered my sword straight in front of me. But it was too late. Oh dear. The two-pronged point of his sword pierced my chest. And like that, it seems like the scales have been tipped in Genichi's favor yet again. A brutal smile played about Nerose's mouth. His grip loosened. The colossal scissors closed. My chest, together with my ribs, together with my lungs. The scissors gnawed into them. I retreated a step in desperation. But we are at a serious disadvantage. Nerose swept his arm further toward the side, cutting through. Fresh blood danced before my eyes. Pain lanced through my whole body. Although my senses were supposed to have gone numb, it was enough to render me speechless. I clenched my teeth and endured it. My chest, roiled up, had turned to shredded meat. If I hadn't backed up, he'd have gotten to my heart. Huge amounts of blood came spraying out. Even if we survive this encounter, we might not last much longer. I started to topple. I caught myself. I couldn't die. Not yet, at least. Like I'd let myself die after coming so far. I ignored Nerose. I frantically advanced toward Noa2 and the fallen Rimi. Lying there, Rimi raised her head a little bit without moving anything else, and looked up at me. She was probably weakened, wasn't she? Her body must be insisting on limpness. Weariness, or else my injuries, made my vision fuzzy. I didn't know what kind of face Rimi was looking at me with. I couldn't bring myself to meet her gaze. I didn't want her to see me like this, blood-stained and beaten. Unfortunately, you can't help that. My tiny little pride made me picky about that kind of thing, even though I was going to die anyway. And speaking of which, turning your back to Genichi is probably the worst thing we could do in this situation. I continued walking toward Noa2. It was already within reach of my D-sword. Strangely, Nerose didn't come chasing me from behind. I'm getting a very bad vibe about this. Then all of a sudden an airy melody started playing through the dome interior. We've heard this before, quite a while ago, and it signifies very bad news. Let me pass. Noa2, towering before me. The sound resonating from it grew shriller. As it resided there solemnly, I sensed something unknown beginning to move inside it. For a second, I quailed, and I gradually lowered my center of gravity, readying myself. I faced Noah 2's tube-ridden, almost organic-looking surface. Time to put your machine to the test, Genichi. I mowed it down with my D-sword. Suddenly I noticed that at some point, Noah 2 had disappeared from my field of sight. For some reason, I was standing with my back facing to it. Clever defense mechanism you have there, Genichi Narose. I knew you had another trick up your sleeve. But, being unable to destroy, Noah 2 in this fashion doesn't mean that it cannot be destroyed. And it is a delusion to believe otherwise. I had definitely been attempting to destroy it. I had no intention of spinning around. And I was facing backward. Narose, rather than Noah 2, appeared in the center of my vague sight, standing in front of me. Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be that easy. Well played. Turning around, I wielded my D-sword one more time. Though I meant to turn around, I hadn't. I'd willed myself to turn around. I made myself the motion of turning around, but the final result was that I hadn't. Yeah, that's because Noah 2 is activated. I grew befuddled.
Noah 2の自己防衛機能とでも言うべきものです。
Narose's quiet voice echoed through the dome, mingling with the melody of Let Me Pass.
近づく者の心に干渉し、意志を歪ませる。
As you did with your compatriots.
Noah 2には誰も近寄れません。私以外。
As he finished speaking, Narose closed in on me with elegant strides. He leisurely raised the enormous D-sword in his hand. Well, this isn't good. I bit my molars together. I didn't think I had enough blood left. I couldn't think clearly. Well, unfortunately that means we can't attack Noah 2 directly, which means our only option at this point is to defeat Genichi, here and now. Despite that, I took up my all but senseless right hand. My right hand that was basically crippled by pain. I raised it in desperation and prepared myself for his next blow. My D-sword, which had somehow been wielded to my hand with the cord alone, met with an incredible impact and went flying. And now we've been disarmed. It tumbled across the floor, moving away from me. And that ringing sound signifies even worse news. I watched it go in astonishment. When I turned my line of sight back to the front, there was Narose sneering. The music shifted, as though it were giving me some kind of warning, as though to urge me towards something.
君の存在を否定してあげましょう。
Narose had already positioned his next attack. He was about to unleash it on me. All too overwhelmingly, all too destructively, all too viciously. His D-sword. In opposition, I was unarmed, without anything to help myself stave off his blow. I became petrified. Looks like the tables have finally turned, yet again. Rimi threw herself between me and Narose. Something soft feeling covered my face. I don't think Genichi is going to listen to your requests there, Rimi. Rimi's chest. Rimi was embracing me as though to wrap herself around me, shielding me from Narose. Narose let out a small breath and lowered his sword, so he isn't going to impale the two of them. Rimi had saved me again, even though I'd come to rescue her. God, how pathetic. In my mortification, I reached for Rimi's blouse. The gap between its buttons, I slipped my right hand inside it. Oh dear. Yeah. Narose isn't attacking again. That suddenly just flared up in my mind. Yeah. Whenever Narose isn't attacking, that means he's up to something. He did that trick with Noah 2 and its defense mechanism. And the fact that Noah 2 was blaring its Let Me Pass music means that Narose is trying something yet again. The lingerie she wore was warm and just a little rough to the touch. The pain of the wound gored in my chest, and the pain of my separated left hand, and the pain of my dislocated right shoulder. The anguish of being unable to breathe properly through damaged lungs. Her warmth seemed like it would heal all my suffering. Rimi's lingerie, Rimi's bare skin. I tore open her button-up blouse. I ripped apart the clothing concealing her body, exposing her bra. I grabbed them through the fabric, her ample breasts. I pressed my bloody right hand to her bra, to her naked skin, as though rubbing the red blood up against her. I felt her suppleness, her elasticity, so very soft. Yeah, Takumi's thoughts and actions are not his own. In other words, he is being manipulated by Noah 2. Rimi squirmed in an attempt to escape. I hung on to her. I wouldn't let her run away. I buried my face in her breasts. Smooth skin that seemed to fit right against me to suck me in. I went further, using my freed right hand to grope inside her skirt. Unfortunately, this is the vile machination of Genichi Narose, using Noah 2 to force Takumi Nishijo to rape Rimi Sakihata. I sprang away from Rimi with a gasp. I was stunned, realizing what I've been trying to do. Even after I moved away from her. Rimi hid her chest with her hands and wept heartbrokenly. Despite me protecting her, why had I done such a thing? 2 words, Takumi. No 2. What the hell was I doing at a time like this? Why was I making Rimi cry? My own voice reverberated from inside me. My breath caught an alarm. Why was I alarmed? Because he'd hit the nail on the head. because he'd seen right through me. Who had? My voice. Voice in my heart. My true self?
ここで物にしておかないと将軍に寝取られちゃう。あんなしわくちゃ野郎にリニアやられちゃうんだよ。寝取られるなんて嫌じゃねえ。まあもうすでにやられちゃってる可能性もあるけどさ。
My true nature whispered to me, "Stop it, please. Don't say that kind of thing. It isn't what I've been thinking." Yet another avenue of psychological warfare in stereo. I wanted to cover my ears, but I couldn't do it without my left hand. Not that covering your ears makes much difference when the voice is being burned right into your synapses. Remy crying, unable to fix her disheveled clothes. Seeing that face of hers pained me so much. It felt like my heart would be crushed.
片思いでいいとか綺麗事言ってないでさ。犯しちゃえって。ノロセはそれをする時間ぐらい待ってくれるってよ。どうせ僕はもうすぐ死ぬんだ。恨まれたってへでもないって。
No to afflicting Takumi Nichijou with negative emotions.
やりたいことやって死のうよ。僕のこのかわいそうな境遇ならここでちょっとひどいことやったってしょうがなかったで許されるよ。
You truly are a sad, pathetic man, Genichi Narose. I was having a delusion, a bad habit of mine. So it'd be real bad if I didn't work on not listening to him. I wouldn't be able to avoid getting swept away by the flow. My weak heart was guiding me in the wrong direction, in an easier direction. But I couldn't let myself get swept away now.
それにリミは僕に同情してくれてた。それならむしろやらしてくれるべきだ。犯せ。死ぬ前に童貞捨てようよ。ダメだ!
I yelled, as though to break through my inner weakness, as though to hurl it all away. Thankfully, it made the voice of my heart go away. Before me, Remy had stopped crying as well. She lowered the hands covering her face. She gave me a cold, brief glance.
つまんない男。
Oh God. Ah! Out of the frying pan into the fire. Since Noah 2 couldn't manipulate Takumi Nishijou's heart, it is trying a different tack. Remy Sakihata. As I said before, and I will continue to say many times into the infinity, Genichi Narose is a miserable, scheming, manipulating piece of shit. I would be so glad if we can finally get rid of him once and for all. Unfortunately, we have pressing matters to deal with right about now, so when we return, adventurers, we'll have to see if we can, if Takumi can break Remy Sakihata from Noah 2's influence. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.